Hi Taurus, how are you? Welcome to your October 2017 reading. Thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to you about a transit that we're having starting October 10th. We're having Jupiter transit into Scorpio, which is the ruler of your marriage and relationships. And having Jupiter in this house can be a really, I feel that it's a very peaceful place. Okay. And there's going to be an urge for you to expand from that sense of self to more of something else. So if you're in a relationship already, it's let's enhance our relationship. Let's make it better. Let's understand each other better. Let's learn about each other. Let's talk about relationship psychology and really tapping into that high spiritual level of who we are, who your partner is. If you're totally single, there is a possibility of meeting someone and getting married, right? It's a very positive placement for that. And I think Jupiter as well, not only in relationships, not only romantic relationship, but it's going to really lend itself to just an understanding of people in general, and hopefully make bonds a little less judgmental, okay? Being more open-minded about other people and really, not placing judgments on them and kind of taking that detached approach of this is another person, this is another soul. They're really on their own journey, and you kind of being, well, how can I either help them or support them? There is a focus or an emphasis on, removing yourself from you and perfecting yourself to, okay, now I'm ready to help others. Not necessarily in like a service-oriented way, but more in terms of just, being there for people, okay? And some of you, because Scorpio is the ruler of your 7th house, there really could be an illicit affair or something very highly sexual coming in your way as well. So be careful of very intense relationships as we go through the year, because they can be good or they can be bad as well. So just be careful and keep your warning signs primed, because if you're picking up on little red flags from people, it's a possibility that it's important to listen to your intuition, I guess is really what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's go ahead and put the camera down and get started with the cards. All right, thanks so much. Hello, Taurus. I was shuffling, excuse me, and this came out, Ace of Swords. When I did the intro part of this video, I had to stop the camera because I had a tickle in my throat, and now as soon as I start this one, I have a tickle in my throat. There's something going on with you. I know that sounds like such a stupid thing, but I just did Aries with like no problems, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I have this scratchiness in my throat. So let's see, hopefully I can get the words out okay. Ace of Swords coming out. Look, this is a beautiful place to begin a reading. It's a place of honesty. It's a place of truth, of balance, of understanding. It's a place of honesty. Okay, it can be harsh, it can be cruel. Sometimes information comes into our lives and it really shakes things up, but it comes in normally at the right time, right? Even if you can't see that yet. It comes in at the right time, and it comes in with purpose. And even though you may get thrown out of equilibrium, in fact, what it's doing is it's getting you to equilibrium because you probably were not as balanced as you thought you were. Ace of Swords can be disruptive, but it's usually the type of thing that comes in and we're like, oh, I'm so glad that happened. I'm so glad I found out. I'm so glad that person told me, or whatever, because it's needed. It comes crashing through our lives once in a while, and it's a powerful thing. The aces cannot go unnoticed. They're very potent. And the swords is sharp. Swords are sharp. And sometimes it does pierce your ego. And if you kind of were inflated, the harder they fall, right? So it brought you down. It humbled you a little bit, I'm sure. But it's for the best, you know, and it's opening doors for you, whether you can see them yet or not. All right, and the Princess of Wands. So this is maybe a fire sign, or it could just indicate, let me check, make sure my thing is, okay. It could just indicate new communication, or it could indicate adventure, excitement, enthusiasm. It usually has a very positive tone or a very positive undertone. Maybe there is someone that you're waiting to hear from, and there's a possibility that you could hear from them. I'm not getting a tone whether any of this is negative or positive at this point. It just kind of is. So let me go ahead and keep pulling out some cards. Princess of Wands is, I feel she's very magical. You know, like the Page of Wands. Very magical, very light on its feet. Usually brings about a sense of adventure or a sense of growth or expansion or something like that. And is usually a welcome energy. You know, it's not normally something that we would kind of shy away from. Five of Swords. Five of Cups. Interesting that I pull out a Five of Cups in this position because I just did Aries, and Aries got Five of Swords. So we have the chalice and the blades. Not that you're tied with Aries at all, but you know, you're close together in the calendar. So it's just kind of interesting that you got fives in the same position. Five of Cups is about, it can be a little bit about sorrow or sadness, a sense of loss, feeling that you have lost something. Maybe that's what the Ace of Swords was about. Maybe you weren't as well established as you thought you were. And look, you're just in a new direction. Plain and simple. As much as I hate saying that because it just always sounds so generic and so like I'm not putting a lot of thought into it. But a new direction can occur every single day. And it's to be embraced, you know, and Five of Cups does enable us to, or force us maybe with the Ace of Swords, like there's an element of force here, really forcing you to look into the future and to not focus so much on what was lost, but to focus on what can be gained because of your experience with that loss. Your experience with that loss is more important than the loss itself. Am I right? Because it shapes who you are. It shapes your character. It shapes your morals and your values. And it shapes the people that you enable or that you allow to be in your life. And Five of Cups can be potent. It can be very hard. It can bring about many tears. And it can bring about the most sincere form of gratitude, okay? Unfortunately, I feel, this is just my personal experience, because even if you have, you know, you're outside and you see a beautiful sunset and you can be like, oh, I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so grateful to be here and for where I live and for my family. And you can really feel grateful for those things. But I think that there's some truth to the fact that we don't really feel grateful until there's a threat of it being lost, or there actually is loss. You know, some of you may have had an actual loss, whether a death or a breakup or even a financial loss of some kind. And now here you see what is meant to, what is truly needed in life to move forward, what is truly, I think this was a real perspective change for you, and you have a new outlook on life in kind of a dramatic way. Like I said, aces aren't unnoticed. They can be very dramatic energies coming in. Okay, and Ten of Wands, the Lord of Oppression. How have you guys been doing? You know, have you been feeling burdened? Have you been feeling overworked? Have you been feeling stressed? Have you been at a place in your life where you have felt like you are being really stretched to ultimate limits? you know, because this is a Saturn card of Saturn. You can see Saturn, the symbol in the top there. Saturn is the teacher that comes in and says, okay, I'm really going to put this person to work. I'm really going to show this person what they're capable of. Sometimes we need outside forces in order to show us our true depth, for us to understand what we're capable of, what we're capable of withstanding, what we're capable of handling and managing, you know? And it's hard. But normally a Ten of Wands is without a doubt one of those things. It's like you're, 90 years old and you're on your deathbed and you look back at the most difficult times of your life, people that had a child that, was afflicted with some kind of an illness or an issue, a cognitive issue, people that grow businesses, people that, have certain life experiences, they escaped from some dramatic place. Look, those are the things that when you're on your deathbed that you weirdly feel the most grateful for, because they really did shape you. Like I said, they make you who you are. And without those experiences, you wouldn't be where you are today, I guess. I feel that some of you have been really stretched to your limits. Eight of Pentacles, the Lord of Prudence. I'm not going to take these. Oh, make sure I didn't leave them on the floor. This is a card of, I kind of like say one day at a time. It's kind of how I say with this. Taking one day at a time, one thing at a time. If some of you have experienced dramatic stuff, I'm being dramatic and I'm using dramatic examples, not to kind of, be annoying, but just so you can understand, so I can illustrate my points, but not everyone has gone through something so intense. But either way, it is about day by day, task by task, allowing things to come to you, and then you tackle it, and that's it. And it's something comes in and you take care of it. The next thing comes in and you take care of it. And it just becomes very machine-like, very Energizer bunny. Put your head down, go to work, make things happen, and not necessarily with a sense of big picture here. This is not a big picture reading. It's very much about whether for some of you it's just getting through the day. For others of you, it's accomplishing each little task so that eventually the big picture can get there. But you're not getting distracted by the big picture. You're not getting lost in the dreams or the fantasies or whatever, or the big questions like, why did this have to happen? The fact of the matter is something happened and there's really not a lot you can do about it except just take it day by day, take it one thing at a time. And being detailed, and maybe some of you are even allowing yourself to get distracted by work or getting distracted by things. I think for you this month it's okay. Sometimes I'd be like, no, you're just kind of in denial or whatever. But this is helping you kind of keep your mind busy. It's helping you keep your hands busy, especially if there was something that made you angry, or if there was something that really upset you in some way. It's possible that, this could help keep your anger at ease. This is, in essence, channeling your energy, channeling your frustrations or whatever because of this, in a very productive way, in a way that's actually helping the situation. Okay, so it's good. It's good. I'm happy for you. It takes a strong person to do that, and to not get so bogged down in the emotions and in the feeling victimized. I definitely don't think you guys are doing that. Princess of Wands, optimism, enthusiasm, or at least as much as you can muster, right? I don't sense too much sadness. Well, there definitely can be here. you know, but just is what it is. And the Knight of Wands. Yes, the Knight of Wands can often cause a Five of Cups situation. Let's talk about the Knight of Wands. He always comes up when we're, you know, have difficult love readings. Now, some of you, this could apply in relationships, some of you maybe not, but it's someone that's very slippery. I don't know how else to describe it. This could be the fire sign that you're waiting to hear from. Very slippery, someone that, oh, it's so different from you, you know? It's you, King of Pentacles, which is your card, who's sturdy, who's stagnant. Not stagnant in a bad way, but who's like standing still, comfortable, enjoys the beautiful things in life, versus someone who can live in scarcity and likes to go from person to person to person, thing to thing to thing. I often say this is a collector of friends and lovers, right? And sometimes we can feel very forgotten by a Knight of Wands because they come into your life and they make you feel so special, and they make you feel, because they're very present. You know, that's one of their gifts. They're very present in the moment. And moment to moment, they can be with you and they make you feel like you're being listened to and they understand you. And then a week later, they're with the next person doing the exact same thing. And it can be, you know, that kind of like, hey, wasn't that special? Or wasn't that something that was meaningful to you? And it was, but he has those types of meaningful experiences with many people, right? And that's kind of the essence here, and why there's maybe so much pain going on and he's kind of being squared up by those cards, is that maybe he or she did cause some pain for you and was a magical presence in your life, and then maybe they disappeared, or maybe they did something to really hurt you. And yeah, Knight of Wands in a tarot reading can be beautiful when we're talking about adventure and knowledge and school and career, but in love it can be tough. Nine of Cups. Yes, nines, okay. A card of, I'm going to actually make sure again. Sorry, I keep doing it. Just want to make sure. It's so frustrating when I keep talking and my camera turns off and it's like 20 minutes with no recording. Nine of Cups, you know. I see this as being a card of self-respect. Self-respect. This person very likely had to put you in touch with your self-respect, had to put you in touch with your self-love, had to ensure that you really had a strong sense of self. They challenged you for sure. 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups, no doubt it was a challenge. And they did push you to your limits. They did get you there. You know, 9 of Cups can also be about, you know, I'm not saying, it can be about ego, but I'm actually not really seeing that here. Some of you are being required to be happy on your own, whether you're in a relationship or not, doesn't matter. But you have to be happy on your own, as yourself, as you, as a person, you know, and coming to that form of, now we have 8 of Cups. A lot of cups, guys, so a lot of emotions being thrown around. Another Saturn. Okay. This is Jupiter, this is Saturn. And this is about understanding of who you are. Saturn is about another pushing the limits. And sometimes you have to exert a great deal of strength in order to walk away from something that probably had a lot of potential. To walk away from an issue, to walk away from a situation, a person, a relationship that you obviously worked very hard for. You obviously were invested. 8 of Pentacles. You know, you did a lot of the work. You focused a lot on helping, on being there, but maybe this person just didn't really care if you were there, you know? Eight of Cups is, it's the Lord of abandoned success. It's knowing when the right time to walk away. You know, we have a full moon in Aries this month as well. Aries is your subconscious. It's the 12th house. It's your connection. And it's very possible that you are needing to clean house a little bit and needing to get your life, what's the word? Needing to get your life uncluttered or decluttered. And Eight of Wands. Eights and eights. Lord of swiftness, swift change, swift movement. Okay, I love the Eight of Wands. It does happen quickly. I think things are going to be happening quickly for you this month. I'm wondering if you're going to need to be dealing with a lot of things, and you might be on a little bit of one of those, like, every day is different. I'm not going to call it a roller coaster because I don't necessarily see it being up and down, but rather left versus right, okay? And being like, and being pulled and being torn and being maybe even a little bit confused. You know, the eights again are about strength. They're ruled by strength in the major arcana, okay? And strength is something that, again, is a blessing. But when it shows up in a reading, it just means that you have to exert strength. You're going to have to put effort into something. You're going to have to put effort into making this change happen or toward following a new path. You're going to actually have to take action to do that, okay? And the Princess of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, all right? Pages here, your earth, maybe you're dealing with a fire person, okay? Fire energy, Sagittarius specifically here, but could also be Leo or Aries, or someone that has those types of qualities or is highly passionate, okay? I'm just going to kind of pull out a couple more here to give context. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. You're at a pivot point with the Seven of Pentacles. It's like, is what I have invested, is it enough? Am I happy? And I really think a lot of you are going to abandon a situation. You're going to abandon someone. And you're going to be the one, right? You're going to be the one that needs to do that. In spite of wanting to be with this person, in spite of wanting this to work out, or in spite of you wanting this balance, right? In spite of it, you may cut your losses and say, okay, it's obviously, you know, I can't make you change. I can't make you do anything. So all I can do is just make my life peaceful. This is all in the name of peace for yourself. Nine of Cups. It's all in the name of finding your grounding, of finding your sense of self. And when we give so heavily to an energy like a Knight of Wands, it can very often be, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess wasted. I don't know. Three of Cups, Lord of Abundance. I'm kind of sensing the word freedom with this. Freedom and finding a way or finding a place that makes you feel calm. Now, some of you may connect with friends in social circles. You know, we do have a lot of activity going on in Libra. So you may have some, you know, essence of connecting with friends, connecting with family, getting people's opinions, talking to people. Be careful of not bad talking this situation with your friends, you know, because I think some of you really care about this person. You really don't want to really hurt them. And so being, you know, kind when you're talking about them, quote unquote, behind your back, saying good things about the situation, and because it could kind of get back to them. You know, this is a little bit of a grapevine situation, so just be careful, especially if you're dealing with mutual friends. Also be cognizant of any tendencies that you may have to overindulge or to drink too much or to overeat or smoke too many cigarettes or whatever it is, to really keep moderation, you know, because this is obviously very stressful, and some of you may be making decisions that you never really wanted to make, but you're kind of being forced into it. This is a very forceful energy, remember. So you're being forced into it. You kind of have your hands tied behind your back. So you are making decisions you don't really want to make. So be careful of your vices and any sense of escapism that you may kind of have a tendency to sort of participate in. But I think you're headed in a beautiful direction, and this just needs to be done. You know, it just needs to be taken care of. It needs to be driven out, and it opens so many more positive doors for you in ways that I think at this point in time you can't even really begin to imagine. It's about doing what you got to do. It's about caring for yourself. It's about being in love with yourself, all right? And not allowing yourself to be, you know, kind of taken advantage of, or to be feeling left in a way that doesn't make you feel so good. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that. All right, Taurus, I really wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much. Good luck, and I will see you next month. Bye.